Welcome to Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm your host, James Coleman. I'm a writer, speaker, and coach on personal development, spirituality, and social change. You can check out my blog at innerpeacearts.wordpress.com, Facebook and Twitter at InnerPeaceArts1, that's the number 1, InnerPeaceArts1, and you can email me at innerpeacearts@protonmail.com. Today I'm going to actually continue from a previous episode where I talked about how everyone is successful. And here, this is a corollary to that, and this is one that someone says to me quite often, is that people get something out of what they do, and that's why they do it. So this is not just, so it's a different take on everyone is successful. It's concentrating more on the benefits of what they do, and that they see that there are benefits from what they do. Again, this has the same implications as everyone is successful, in that if people are getting something out of what they do, the motivation to change would only be through an imagination of getting something better. So this perspective actually opens up conversation in the sense that if you have something that's better, they could possibly make the change. But they may be satisfied with the getting that they're getting from what they're doing. And again, this leads to, when you're trying to bring about any kind of change, this is the big barrier, is that they're already getting something that they want from what they're doing. And that means there's no motivation to make any changes. Now, if you think about this in the context of marketing, marketing is actually looking for those holes where there is dissatisfaction. And so, why is this related to they're getting what they want? Well, the marketing is actually, all marketing is pointing to something that they're not getting, which means that the marketing in itself, right, is negative, meaning that it's hyping up something that they don't have or that they can't fulfill in order to fulfill it. And this is an interesting place in terms of agency and positivity, right? If I want to concentrate on the things that I can do, or that you can do, I'm not concentrating on the things that you can't do, right? There's still this notion of getting something that you don't have using what you want, right? And that's a positive notion. But the marketing seems to need to make promises. And it's making promises related to the things that, you want. And how is this relating to people are getting something out of it? Well, the marketing is making promises about what you will get out of it. And it may or may not actually fulfill those promises. And that's a tough one for me. But again, it's going to be necessary from building a business perspective, that you create that feeling of desire that you can then fulfill via your product offering. Right? Which means that now you are saying to them, I know you can you're saying either I know you can fill this need, but I can fill it better. Or you're saying to them, what you're doing is not actually meeting the need. Now that you see that you're not meeting the need, come hang with me and I will meet that need through my product offering. And this is, and of course, the more emotionally sensitive the topic, the more kind of likely you'll get an impulse buy or an impulse agreement, or that they'll, click more or whatever. And that's kind of ancillary to what I was saying before, or what I started off with. So let's go back. People are getting something out of what they do. They're making those choices because they're getting something, or believe they are getting something, right? They might not actually be getting it, but they may believe that they are getting it. And the belief is just as valid as them actually getting it from the point of view of an outsider trying to influence them. So, yeah, it's something to pay attention to, and something to be aware of, and that when you see somebody doing something, questioning them has to be with care, because they wouldn't have chosen that path if they weren't getting something out of it. And if they're not asking the questions about whether or not it's working, they may not be aware of whether or not it is working. So again, just because they're doing something doesn't mean they know what they're doing or why they are doing it. They just believe that it is going to meet their needs. So treading with care in terms of showing them whether or not it's meeting the needs, and overcoming the belief of whether or not it's actually working for them. Again, these can be touchy subjects, especially when you start to deal with more intimate and sensitive areas. I mean, when it comes to house cleaning products, they might not be that sensitive, but when it comes to things related to how they relate to other people, how they're going about relating to their children, how they're going about relating to their partners, how they are going about trying to improve their skill sets. These can be much more sensitive topics and need to be handled with care. So that's it. This is Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. I'm James Coleman. Today we talked about everybody gets something out of what they do, and you have to use that fact in order to change what they're doing. If you're in a change business, right? Your job is to get around that, but you need to start off with the recognition that it is there and that they are getting something out of it, and that you just can't, most of the time you just can't say, hey, you're not getting anything out of this, do this, and they'll look at you all funny. So soon we'll look at some techniques on how to do that more. Today we're just talking about and being more aware of that fact, because it has to be front and center, or at least driving what we do unconsciously, so that it does get addressed. James Coleman, Inner Peace Arts Unscripted. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. And Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. In distinction, thanks be to stream, in stream, by stream. Thanks.